we go. Months ago, when he started coming out admitting he eats fruits, and he doesn't he doesn't even track how much honey he sucks down. He sucks down hundreds of grams of carbs down his fucking neck, which is cute. But I'll get into something about beef products in a minute, you motherfuckers. Let's get into this little fucking. I'll get into it a little bit, you motherfuckers. I will. Don't worry. Don't fucking worry. I will. I fucking will. Here we go.
Artificial sweeteners like stevia and Splenda, bullshit or not?
Oh boy.
Let's talk about the whole spectrum of sweet.
That's not the whole spectrum of sweeteners. I doubt he's gonna mention date syrup or date sugar.
Sweeteners. We know that processed sugar, that sucrose, is no good for humans. It causes major problems. But why?
It's because it's fucking sugar, and it's just concentrated sugar. There's nothing to buffer it or nothing. And even that so-called buffering is subjective from human to human. So that's why the glycemic index is also bullshit, because if different individual people react differently to low or high glycemic shit, and it varies between person to person, it's bullshit. Sorry. Grow up! Or cry more!
Why would you use artificial sweeteners like stevia and Splenda?
Splenda is made from sucralose. That's an artificial sweetener. Stevia is is one of two glycoside compounds extracted from stevia, Rebiana, which is one of, I think, 240 species of stevia. Rebiana side A and Rebiana side D are the two best tasting ones, and require the least to do the same sweetening effect.
When you can use something like honey or fruit to...
Here's what I do instead of honey. Well, every so often I will use about at most a half a teaspoon of stuff like this, or a full teaspoon of this stuff right here. This is a Royal Energizer Royal Jelly in raw honey. Ultra Mega Strength, as they call it. Okay? See that? And let me give you a little clue. If you've learned anything about me, I'm a follower of Bartholomew K. I'm a follower of Harry Serpanos. I'm a follower of Dr. Ken D. Barry. Professor Bartholomew K. I meant to say. Sorry about that. The lovely Miss Pim Johnson. The wife of the Doc Barry, the lovely Miss Nisha Barry, Mrs. Barry, great Southern sweethearts, those two, Ken and Nisha, and I send them to people, right? And I also, I follow those people like them, and I follow a lot of others as well. And I've become a big fan of McCafferty Farms as well. So I'm going to show them and the link down below and show you how awesome they are. I'm going to get Sean Baker's fucking videos interacting with them. I want to link them too. Anyways, a teaspoon of this Royal Jelly in raw honey, Royal Energizer, and I'm going to link you the website as well. Total carbs is 8 grams for what's this, half. That's actually less than half of the carbohydrate total carbs in a same teaspoon of full fucking honey. 8 grams, and it's just as sweet, but you got more nutrition. I'll link that about Royal Jelly as well. Now, I do have raw honey. I have raw chestnut honey. It's hard to eat that straight, but I do use 1/4 of a teaspoon of it at a time to make fermented mayonnaise. I will admit that. I think I've used it on my my bacon eggs recipe on my channel as well. Bacon fat mayonnaise. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go further. Stevia, Reb A and Reb D, And tiny doses are not going to harm you for the most part, unless you have sweet taste insulin response, sensitivity, or and the only thing you can half-ass say is artificial is the erythritol that a lot of stevia sweeteners use as a bulking agent. The difference with that is it's made from fermenting down sugar. It made from corn. Sugar's out of corn for the most part. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. I'm gonna see if I'm wrong. I'll say in the description I stand corrected. I think corn-derived xylitol is a bit more sustainable than birch xylitol as well. I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as eating a bunch of fucking sugar, and you don't need as much to get the same sweetness either. You're just finally spraying the glycoside onto the bulking agent to carry it and also contribute sweetness total. And what you're getting with that still is nowhere near as much as what you're going to need to fuck with your thyroids when it comes to Reb A or Reb D from stevia. You get good enough doses that it'll begin to start fucking with your thyroid and become goitrogenic, but you can't stand to eat that much at a time needed to do so. That is something to be concerned with. It's something to know, but it's not really to be concerned with. Is what I'm trying to say.
Sweeten your meals. Nevertheless, let's dive into it. Both stevia and Splenda have been shown to disrupt the gut microbiome. They disrupt quorum sensing, which is how bacteria talk.
It can, but at the same time, for a lot of people, that's not really an issue. It depends on how much you consume. It depends on a lot of things, I'm pretty sure. It also depends on the person as well. It depends on a lot of factors, because again, a lot of people don't have that kind of trouble.
In the gut, stevia is also used as a contraceptive in indigenous countries.
Not Reb A and Reb D. It's extractives of the whole fucking plant, and you need a decent amount you need to consume a certain amount of it to get to the contraceptive levels, to be able to work as a fucking contraceptive. I'm glad I know about my Native American ancestry and the other tribes on this side of the planet a little bit more than most speckled crackers beside myself. I'm glad I'm a little more literate about them.
Both of these are complete bullshit.
Disagree. Stevia is not bullshit if you use it sparingly and you don't go crazy with it.
You do not want them at all. Agave and maple syrup are heated plant syrups, which is not as good in my opinion as a raw unheated honey, but both of these have been found to be better than processed sugar in animal models.
Animal models, we're not people, so fucking what? We're not people, dude. Also, agave, I would rather you turn that to tequila before I consume it. Okay? Let me explain why. The massive amounts of fucking fructose in agave is enough to block your fucking liver up. It's a definitive likelihood to contribute to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, I meant to say. Jesus H. Christ on a fucking unicycle.
So these are probably better than processed sugar, better than Splenda and stevia, but not
bullshit. When it comes to the agave, bullshit.
Not as good as honey. My preference: raw, organic, glyphosate-free honey, or fruit as your sweetener.
I use this fruit. It's called Luhang Guo. It was harvested by the Chinese people first discovered Buddhist monks harvesting it in the 1200s. And they've probably been using it as a herbal tea and a dried fruit to consume for their meditative stances for a long fucking periods of time. And those areas that consumed it the most had a high correlation. Excuse me. Also consumed animals had a high correlation with having 100-year-olds as well. One of those pockets. But again, I got my preference right here, fuckers. More nutrients at a fraction of the carbs, and also, in other words, and also a fraction of the deuterium. Okay. I give you a little final warning. This video, do not fear the Randall cycle. Do not listen to it! Yeah. Thank you for watching.